Hello my crafty peeps, it's Cheyenne from pixiecrafter.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. You can shop my online store 24/7. The link is in the description bar below, or you can head on over to pixiecrafter.com for more information about Stampin' Up!, project ideas and inspiration, and all of that fun jazz. Alright, today is Scrapbook Saturday. I'm so excited to be completing and catching up on my scrapbooks, though I still have so much to catch up on. So today we are going to be using the Colorful Seasons bundle to do some wintry themed scrapbooking. So alright, we're going to need our Colorful Seasons bundle. So it's the stamp set and the seasonal layers framelets. You can get these together in a bundle and save 10%. I highly recommend it. This is a wonderful, versatile set. It's really fantastic. So lots of fun things to do. So again, we've got the framelets and the stamp set. Lots of fun stuff. All right, so the stamps that we're going to use is the You Make Me Smile and all of the snowflakes, all 2 of them. And yep, that is it for the stamps. For the dies, we're going to use the 3 snowflakes. These are intricate dies. You're going to want to use your precision base plate. I highly recommend the precision base plate. I also recommend getting a piece of wax paper from your kitchen, and I'll show you how to use that later to really help with these intricate dies. So that also means we're going to need our big shot. So I've got mine all set up off to the side. You're also going to need your die brush set. So I've got mine just in a little box, and you can see it helps to catch all of the little pieces, the piece graveyard, if you will. Really fantastic for all of your precision little intricate dies and cuts. Alright, so this is the photo I am scrapbooking. This was Ethan my kid, he just lost his first tooth, and we're doing a winter theme because clearly it's cold outside. There's no snow on the ground yet, but there will be. And so yeah, we're just going to go with that theme. I've already matted this with Whisper White and some Tranquil Tide, because I thought it just popped it well. It's only 1/8 of an inch for each, so the Whisper White is cut at 5 1/8 by 7 1/8, and the Tranquil Tide is 5 1/4 by 7 1/4, and the picture is 5 by 7. So such a cute picture. Love the blues in it. I've got my triple banner punch, snail adhesive and dimensionals. Ink colors, we're using Dapper Denim, Smoky Slate, and Tranquil Tide, so have those on standby. We're using some vellum, some silver foil sheet, so maybe it's just called silver sheet. Foil sheet? No, silver foil sheet, I believe that's what the whole kit and caboodle is. I've got some of the Color Theory Designer Series paper. It's a 6x6 stack, so one side has more crackle finishes, the other side has more paint swatches, so lots of versatility to that. Need a little scrap of Whisper White. This is 1 inch wide. We're going to be stamping on that, and then for a base I've got a 12 by 12 piece of Whisper White cardstock. So first thing we're going to do is start by stamping. Alright, so this is actually let's go ahead and use our banner punch a little bit. So I'm wanting this kind of centered on the horizontal, and then kind of off to the side maybe. I haven't fully committed to it, but I know that I'm going to want to cut down this sheet a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a pencil and kind of go ahead and mark that there, and then let's bring over our Stampin' trimmer. I love the Stampin' trimmer. It is fantastic for scrapbooking. It goes all the way up to 6 1/4 inches before you have to swing that arm out, so it's really nice. If you are card making, chances are you may never actually pull out that arm, but it's wonderful. Alright, so I went ahead and I cut that. And this is going to be the background. So now that we've got this extra piece, thinking I'm going to want it to be peeking out a little bit. So it almost looks like it's more of a solid block than it actually was. So we'll go ahead and mount that together so it looks like one solid piece. And then there is this piece that I want to kind of come over here. I think it really helps to ground it a little bit, and I'm going to want to go ahead and triple banner punch this. Oh, the triple banner punch is wonderful. You can cut 2-inch pieces, 1.5 and 1 inch, and just get that banner going. So I've got the darkest color that's going to stay square. Let's go ahead and banner up that bottom bit. And then I've got this piece here. This is 1.5 inches wide, and they're both 6 inches long, by the way. Go ahead and banner that little guy there. And this one I am going to want right there, just to kind of anchor all of this together a little bit more. And I'll fiddle with it, the placement, a little bit more once it gets closer to time to actually start adhering everything down. So that's going to be the basic of the layout. So I want to do snowflakes on the background that are kind of like flowing through from one corner to the other. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of outline where it is that everything is along those diagonals, just so I can kind of have a reference to where I want to stamp, because there's no point in me stamping in the middle here. None of it's going to show. So, all right, maybe I'll have a little coming over here too. Or I'll just, go ahead and outline it all. I might as well. I'm on a roll. I've outlined most of it. All right. So now it's just going to be a matter of stamping, and I'm going to use Dapper Denim and Smoky Slate just to give a nice little flow, snowflake flow going to all of this. So we will do that in fast forward. Alright, so there is our stamped images. You'll notice that I started off doing this, but I wasn't happy with how they're stamping. That sometimes happens with the photopolymer. You sometimes you have to learn your stamps too. They're all a little bit different. So I went ahead and flipped over to the other side, and I just did a fun little snowflake pattern, really filled it in with multiple stamping before re-inking, and just had fun with it until I liked the way it looked. I used some of our grid paper so I didn't mess up my background, though it is contact paper, and in theory it should wipe clean. I didn't want to risk it. So let's go ahead and grab all of this and kind of start getting it back together. Now I'm going to go ahead and adhere these together how I would like them. So I'm going to go ahead and put a small strip of snail adhesive along that edge. And this is another fantastic use for the grid paper. It really helps you to line everything up and get it just nice and perfect and even. All right, so there we go. So that's also going to help make it easier to get this other side. So I'm going to put another strip of the snail adhesive along the side, and then I'm going to line it up with this line right here. So I can just go ahead and get that lined up so I know it's going to be perfectly lined up across the edge, and it's going to really look like it is one sheet of paper. Alright, so there we go. So I've got that going on. And now I think I want to grab my Dapper Denim Stampin' Right marker. And I'm going to use the pen side, and I'm going to go ahead and do some outlines. Now this is a quick and easy way to just add some extra to your page. It's really easy. Everyone can do a line. It's okay if it's not perfect. If you do want it perfect, go ahead and pull out your ruler. This is just going to add a nice little border to the edges, have them pop a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and double line. And again, I'm being messy with this because I want it to look a little bit more sketched than anything. I want it to look hand-drawn and special. So there's that. Now those edges are going to pop a little bit and define it a little bit more. And now I've got these pieces, and I'm actually going to pop that up to get it placed right. And that is going to end up getting tucked underneath here a little bit. Just like that. And now I'm going to take my basic black Stampin' Right marker. This is the only marker that you can get individually. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to outline around these pieces just to give them a little bit more visual weight. Alright, so that part is now done. And now let's go ahead and pull this over and get it kind of placed to get an idea of what's going on. Alright, so I'm loving how that is. I think I also want to add some black outline to my 12 by 12 piece. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. Alright, now that that is done, let's bring our reference piece back in. Now clearly we need more. So let's go ahead and get that You Make Me Smile stamped. And we're going to use that piece of 1 inch wide Whisper White and our Tranquil Tide ink. So I'm just going to ink up You Make Me Smile, and I'm going to move it over just a little bit because I know I want some of it to tuck in, but I also want to have enough to banner the end as well. And I'm not sure where all of that's going to need to be. So There we go. We'll just pop that in the middle like that. Clean off the stamps with the Stampin' Scrub and Stampin' Mist. Alright, and put our ink pad away. And now I'll go ahead and I want a banner. I gotta open up the punch first. There we go. So I know I'm gonna want more than that, I think, but we'll see, because I do want this to kind of tuck in there. Yeah, I want it to be a little bit more than that. So I'm gonna flip it over now so I can really see what's going on. Alright, yeah, I like that. Though now it's kind of fading into the background, isn't it? So there's a couple of options. You can take another piece of the designer series paper that we're using, and we can go ahead and mat it on this if we want it. And that might not be too bad. So let me go ahead and get my Stampin' trimmer back, because we have to cut this down a little bit. Alright, so that is 1 inch wide. So I'm actually only going to do 1 1/4. And you can finagle this. Like the stamp or the punch, it's 1 inch, 1 1/2, and 2 inches. But if you are careful, you can go ahead and get it lined up. So flip it over to the back, and you can kind of eyeball it and tell like where everything is. I'm just going to line up the 2 corners there. There we go. And we've got our little quick banner. And then I can go ahead and give that a trim. Now let's get the Stampin' trimmer back. All right, I definitely want to give that a little tucky underneath there. Then I'll have something there. So yeah, that's working for me. Oh, I also am going to go ahead and take my basic black and give this an outline as well. Oh, there we go. That's nice and fun. It just adds like a nice little whimsy to it. Like, I don't want this page to feel like it's taking itself too seriously. I'm going to go ahead and take my snail and get this adhered down. Alright, so that will end up tucking under there quite nicely. Now let's get that silver foil and our Big Shot and do some fun with that. So here we go. Alright, so I've got the silver foil. I'm going to go ahead and place it down. And now we've got our dies too. But before I do that, I want to actually take some wax paper and put it over. This is going to help everything to release. So now I'm just going to cut out quite a few of these snowflakes, and then we will add them to our pieces. And I'm okay if I cut out more than I need, because I will have them on other projects. So I actually have my magnetic platform with my precision base plate, and then my foil, my wax paper, my dies, and now I'm putting a kind of fresh cutting plate on it. So on the other side, there's no cuts in it. All the cuts are on this side. Any texture that you have in your cutting plate, it might actually impress into your foil. So be aware of that. So we're just going to run this through, and we're going to do this a lot. Okay, so something I forgot to mention and forgot to do with some of the intricate dies, you might want to run them through twice. Especially I found with that center one, it is a very intricate die and it needs that little extra. But look at how easily everything pops off with that wax paper. This has been a game changer for me. So it's so much easier to get them out of the die, especially with the foil paper. Sometimes it can be a little rough trying to get these guys out. There we go, we got them all out, and I'm just gonna do more and then we will return. Alright, so now I'm just going to take my die brush and just lightly go over these guys to kind of try to get out as much of those little bits in the center as I can. There we go, that one cleaned up really quickly. A couple more in that one. Alright, definitely, absolutely go over those twice. Run them through and run them through again, especially the middle size one. This one is very intricate and it needs to be run through twice. At least my set does. So keep that in mind. The big one and the small ones, these cut out perfectly with just one pass, and it was wonderful. But look at these gorgeous snowflakes. They are just pretty awesome. I love them in the silver foil. Yeah. Anyone else see Christmas cards? I do. Alright, so let's start decorating all of this. I think definitely gonna need one of the big ones right there just to fill out that space. And then it's just going to be a matter of filling things in. Alright, so I went ahead, adhered down everything. I cut a piece of vellum to be 2 inches wide and banner punched it to make this nice little, I guess it's a title piece. Adhered down all of this. I now have this little snowflake to adhere really quickly. And then we are going to add this on with some dimensionals. Now when you're using the fine tip glue pen, remember that it's going to dry quick, so you definitely want to go ahead and close this up in between and not let it sit out too long, because once that nozzle gets clogged, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. Alright, so I'm just going to pop on 3 dimensionals onto this little banner piece. I'm going to go ahead and pop it on just like that. And then I will go ahead and write directly onto the cardstock. I'll put my journaling kind of right here. And then it'll be a day. So I'm going to go ahead and put my lines in for my journaling and get that all set up. I will be using the journaling pens to do that. Now I do have the old Project Life ones. Stampin' Up! Does have the new ones. They are the same sizes, so I figured I'll go ahead and use these up and then replace them. Alright, here we have the finished page. So looks like I'm going to need to go ahead and order the journaling pens because my .01 ran out of ink. So that's no good. Alright, I went ahead, did my journaling, used the .05 for the lines, and usually I do the .01 for the actual journaling. I like how that looks. This is how I prefer to do my journaling. I just like to have the lines, do the journaling, and that's my thing. So I also went ahead and I thought it needed a little bit more, something to ground it. So I added some black sequins to it. I did use the old retired sequins. However, the new sequin packs that you can get the little black ones in it. So you can still get your hands on the product that I used. It's just in a different configuration than what you saw me using. So I love the way this turned out. It's fun. I definitely feel like the photo is still the center of it, but I like all the nice little accents going along. And yeah, I'm very happy. You can make this as simple as you want. Like, there was at one point where I thought, all right, this is a good scrapbook page. I don't have to add anything more, but I wanted to. So I went ahead and I continued to build and build and build. And sometimes that's what scrapbooking is. You just keep building on top of it until you're happy with how it is. I could have absolutely maybe added a couple doilies behind here just to add like another little focal point, and just there's so much that you can do. Be creative. It's your scrapbook. It's your memory keeping. Do what makes you happy and makes you feel good. This is what's making me feel happy and making me feel good, and what I want to show people when they want to see my scrapbooks. So this is, take bits and pieces. Just do the stamping or whatever. This is an inspiration piece. You don't have to copy it exactly the way I did. I'm just showing you ways that you can use the product. All right, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please go ahead and click on that like button and subscribe. Feel free to leave any comments. I love hearing your comments. What do you guys think of the color theory suite so far? Are you liking it? Are you digging it? Is it something that you're going to want to buy, or is it something that you want to pass on? I'd love to know. Remember, you can shop my online store 24/7. The link is in the description bar, or you can head on over to pixiecrafter.com. It is a fairly new, reimagined website for me, so if you want to see any of the old projects and that I've done, they are kind of archived in Ye Old Archive on Blogger, and there is a link on in the blog section. It's the first post ever on the blog section of my website, and that'll take you over to all of my past projects. While you are on my website, you can go ahead and sign up for my monthly newsletter. You also have the option to sign up for my birthday club. If you are a U.S. resident, you can sign up for the birthday club, and I will send you a handmade birthday card in your birthday month as a show of appreciation for you supporting me and my small business, and, you know, enabling me to do what I love. I love teaching, and this is fun for me. This is a wonderful outlet, and it's something I enjoy doing. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. If you want the latest news on what's going on and the latest updates, follow me on Facebook. That's where I put all of those updates and the hey, don't forget, and all of that. All right. That is it for today. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye!